Hello everyone and welcome back to the studio here in Northumberland. And today I'm going to do a watercolour, but a little bit different because it's October and people are talking about Christmas already. So I thought I'd show you some paintings, this one and the next one I do next week, on Christmas card type themes. So if you follow this and then you just paint it, print it off on your computer and you've got little Christmas cards. Of course you can print on watercolour paper these days as well. And what I'm going to do, a quick outline drawing. It's a very, very simple picture, and not a lot of colours in it either. And got a bit of a hedge here coming across. Notice it's going downwards slightly, helping with your recession. Here we'll have snow up to the hedge. And this will be where the snow gets not quite as thick and it comes down to the path there, the path there. And more snow here. And another hedge there, which will be snow capped of course. Then that disappears down there. More snow. Now, I'm going to have some trees. Actually, no, before the trees, I'm going to stick a little geezer on there. Little geezer, bigger chap. Middle distance. And that's someone that's going to be walking his dog. Which, coincidentally, will be a black Labrador there. Tail on. And now going to have some bushy bits across there, distant trees. And a couple of bigger trees here. Coming up and into the sky. Don't start fiddling about drawing twigs because you'll have wasted your time, because I'm going to put some covering at the top of this tree. But you don't need to see thousands of individual twigs. Stick to a few. The rest I'll invent with my paintbrush once I start putting paint on. Another one here. I'm pressing on fairly hard as well so that you can see the pencil mark. And we'll have another one here. Smaller because it's further away. That will more or less do for my drawing, really. Fairly simple drawing. Be a fairly simple sky on this one as well, just ultramarine blue. But before that, obviously, loads and loads of water coming from the top. Don't worry about the trees going through them, even though it's going to be a snow scene. Go through. And down to the top of the hedges, really. Now, quick mop up along the bottom there. Now, just ultramarine blue, plenty of water into it. Remember, when I stick this on, it's going to dry about 30% lighter than when I put it on. So allow for that. If you want a strong sky at this stage, make it very strong. A bit stronger, that's better. Coming down, all the way down there. Now wash out, squeeze out, mop up along the bottom. Again, squeeze out, mop up. And now for clouds, very, very simple. Wash my brush out, squeeze it out. And with a damp brush, not dry, damp, Take some clouds out. Put some more down here. And again, I'm going to mop up. Keep an eye out for drips. Get rid of the little drips, as my mother used to say. And again, no one there. That's probably a bird. No, it's gone. Got rid of it. And I'm just reinstating the top of my clouds there. Look. And remember, notice I keep washing out and squeezing out every now and then, because otherwise you end up just moving paint around rather than taking it out. And again, mop up. That's my sky done. Now, I'll give that 5 minutes to dry. There. Now, I said I was going to give it 5 minutes to dry. I didn't. I gave it 2 minutes. Still ever so slightly damp at the bottom, but that's fine. Only took a couple of minutes. It's nice and warm in here, actually. So now, again, the ultramarine blue. This time with a tiny touch of light red, look. Yeah. And plenty of water. Like I say, there's very few colours in this one. Put that in there. A bit more light red, I think. Yeah, that's better. Put that in like so. And all I'm doing is just dabbing on, and I'll go around those trees now. Like so. All with my number 8 round brush. And I'm leaving a little bit of space on top of the hedge, so I can leave some snow on top of the hedge as well. And that is the same dip of paint as when I started off. I've done all that with one dip of paint. And I'm still going with the same dip of paint. Again, leaving a little bit of light on the top there. On the hedge. And now I'll have another dip. But I want more water in it. So I'll make it slightly weaker as it goes further away. There we go. Bit more water even. These brushes, aquafine brushes, they carry so much water. Like I say, I did all that with one dip of paint. They just hold so much water, and consequently paint when you've got it mixed. Stippling. And I use the aquafine brushes, these, for my watercolours and my acrylics. They're very sturdy brushes. They'll hold a lot of water, but they'll also stand a lot of abuse. And that. The other side of the chap. Again, a little bit more water. And around my geezer. Take that in between those two there. And down to there. Now I'm going to strengthen the mix ever so slightly. So again, it's ultramarine blue, but a little bit more light red, slightly darker look. And I'm going to go to my rigger brush for a second. Number 4 rigger. There. And what I'm doing, a few strokes in amongst this lot here, look. You don't need to paint loads of twigs and loads of boughs, just a few to intimate that it's all trees. Bit of digital art, tapping it on. That'll do. So now, that's my distant trees done. Now, I was saying, even though this is a snow scene, if I wanted white snow up in the tops of the trees, you don't need to go around them, because that's very time consuming to actually start and paint around each individual bough or trunk or twig even, and you start and paint around all these bits. Very time consuming, and your sky is drying on you whilst you're wasting that time. So paint through, and then if you wanted white, I'm not that bothered about it, to be honest here, but say I did. This bit up here where it's into the blue look. What I'll do with my 3/4 inch brush, wash it out, squeeze it out, and take some paint out then. One. There, see it coming out? And then go back in, take some more out. See that? So easy to retrieve your white. Like I say, I'm not that bothered about it. I'll have some here though. Again, go back. Back into here. Wash out, go back. See how simple that is. So you don't have to pre-plan. You can paint through and then take out. Watercolours has got this reputation. It's the most difficult medium because once you make a mistake you can't put it right. It is a nonsense. Take it out. And again, there. There. See? Now, where am I going to have the light coming from here? I think we'll have the light coming from the right, actually. Yeah. So, I'm going to go back in with my number 8 round brush, and I've got ultramarine blue and a lot of light red. There. Nice and dark and strong. See that? Look at that. Lovely dark mix. And all I'm doing, start and paint. Like I say, light coming from the right, start and paint down the left hand side here, look. And go in a little bit. And I'm going to leave the very fine twigs for my rigger brush in a minute. First of all, just filling in the big bits. The big bits, that's a technical term. Down to there. Same one here. And dragging across. And I say, for the smaller bits, I'm going to go to my rigger brush. Same mix, but with the number 4 rigger. And just draw down. Isn't that simple? And of course you don't want any foliage because it's a snow scene. I was down in Essex last week doing a series of workshops, and Essex is so much further south than me here in Northumberland, and I was amazed at how more autumnal the trees were. We've still got loads of green foliage left on our trees here, but down south where you would think that it would be lusher, it's all yellows and burnt siennas. Beautiful. Easy so far, isn't it? We'll have some twigs coming out of the sides of these as well. And look, what I'm doing, bit of rough on the edge of the, it's nice to have a bit of rough, on the edge of the tree trunk. Look, pop it there and drag out. Bit of rough growth on the side. Put it there. Now we'll have some twigs coming out of that lot. Simples. There. Now, these trees over here, same kind of thing, but a little bit weaker because they're further away. It's the same mix, but with more watering. And again, I'm going to put this down the left-hand side of where I took the white out. And they're quite a bit smaller than these, that's why I'm using my rigger brush for it. One down there. And a few twiggy bits. But again, like I say, don't go mad with them. There. Now, I could carry on painting twigs until the cows come home, and it just makes it very busy. Just give the impression of a canopy of twigs, dark stuff. And all I'm doing, look, going back to my 3/4 inch wash brush, it's still ultramarine blue and light red. Like so. Plenty of water into it this time. And all I'm doing is with the flat of the brush, tap on. Isn't that easy? Now more water into it, or over there. Bish bash bosh, dead easy. Don't fiddle. Now to the hedge. And I do want some green because the hedge, even in winter, is going to be greenish, but it's a very dark green. So I've got hooker's green, raw umber, and a touch of ultramarine blue. Very dark, a winter dark green. A bit more raw umber. There, that'll do. All I'm doing, look, with my 3/4 inch flat brush, bring this in, but leaving the top bit white here and there. Down to where the snow's going to go. And we'll have a little bit of that over here as well. I'm going to go over this with an even darker colour in a minute, but that needs to dry first. Now, again, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, good and dark. Sorry, ultramarine blue and light red, good and dark. Same brush, we'll have some of that down there. Again, leaving a little bit of white on the top. Just using the corner of the brush there. Look. Now, that's dry enough now. So again, the ultramarine blue and light red. And I'm going to put some of that on top here. Even bits of the green showing through. A little bit of that there as well. Now, just with a clean damp brush, slop the colours in slightly. There. Clean damp brush, that's all that is. There. Now, before I do the chap and the dog, I'm just going to do the snow in the middle distance behind him. And I'm going to use my number 8 round brush for this. Because I need to be a little bit careful. Because snow, yes, snow is white, but you don't want loads of white left on the painting. It just wouldn't look natural. With the snow, you've got lots of different shades of blues and greys going on in snow. It's reflecting the sky, really. So I've got a little bit of blue with the tiniest touch of light red into it. Popping a little bit there. And as you can see, I've left a few bits of white there, but not much. Now I'm going to make that mix slightly darker, still plenty of water in it, but just a little bit more light red, and have some of that there. Going through there. Now, time for the chap. We'll have a bit of black, ultramarine blue, and, well, nearly black, a lot of light red there. That'll do. There's the head. Actually, I need my reading glasses. Not for the bloke so much as for the dog. Bit of nearly black there. Excellent. Now we'll have red, bit of crimson, and just paint his top. You can see the arm coming down. Trousers, brown I think. I'll have a little bit of raw umber. He's got some country type trousers on. Like that. Coming down there. I think we need green wellies. Hooker's green and light red. That'll do for them. And now the dog. And for the dog, I'm going to go to my rigger brush. And this is ultramarine blue and raw umber. Very dark. Very, very dark. There. And look, a dog, black Labrador. It's a square. With a smaller square inset. A couple of sticks underneath. And a tail. Now whilst I've got that dark on the go, I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow down him. So, a bit of shadow makes him stand out a bit more as well. And soften it in. A bit inside the arm there. There, figure done. Now back to, well, the top of the hedges, but all this snow here as well in the foreground. And so I'm starting off with a little bit of blue, a tiny touch of light red into it, and where I've left the white on top of the hedges there, look, get some blue in as well. A few touches here and there. And I'm moving around the painting for this one, so I'll put something over here as well. So now, clean damp brush, soften that in. Down there. And where the snow meets the hedge, ultramarine blue and light red again. There's some dark underneath there, look. A little bit over here. Now, clean damp brush. All I'm doing, soften it down. Now it's to my big brush and various shades of blue. I have a little bit of blue and light red to start with. A few touches coming down here, like so. Leaving some bits of white, but not too much. A bit here. Now, as I put it on, then soften it in, just with a clean damp brush look. So it's not too hard edged. Now a little bit of blue, just blue, plenty of water in it, but just blue. And again, soften in. And I'll do the same over here. Just blue to start with. Now a bit of blue and the light red. Back over there for that. And again, softening. Now a little bit of raw umber. Plenty of water into the raw umber. And just a few strokes here and there. Now I'll need to let that dry just for a couple of minutes. Now back to the bits of the path that I left, the path that I left. Ultramarine blue, tiniest touch of light red into it. I'm just going to fill in here and there. A few bits. And I'm keeping this horizontal because these are coming down. This is flat-ish. Ish being a technical term. Then wash out, squeeze out, soften it in. So I'm just leaving that little bit of raw on the left shine in the centre. This track, by the way, is about a quarter of a mile from here. You don't have to go far for inspiration when you're in Northumberland. Even when you're making up the snow. And now, I just need some shadows really. But you see how little actual white is left. So again, it's ultimately blue and light red, but darker. There. I'm going to put some underneath here for shadow from that hedge. Then I'm going to edge the side of the snow here, a little bit darker I think. Edge the side of the snow where it comes up to the path. There, it's better. And also I'll have some from him. And from the dog, which is slightly in front of him. And a few touches just here and there. And a couple of touches in here, just for some, that's not so much shadow, there's bumpy bits in the road. Bumpy bits, that's another technical term. Bit of digital art there, look. And that is about that. And there we go, a very simple picture. Not too difficult. Like I say, something like that is ideal for a Christmas card. So now you know how to paint it. Very simple, with very few colours going on in there. I mean the geezer, for instance, you can have him any colour you want. It's just his clothing. Very few colours, as ever, only 4 brushes. And the Aquafine brushes. 1.5 inch flat, 3/4 inch flat, number 8 round, and my number 4 rigger. That's all the brushes I ever use, ever, for anything. And the colours I'm using, again, Aquafine. These are £1 each a tube. They're from nothing. And as you can see, they are good, strong, quality colours, those. Strictly speaking, students' quality, but they're fabulous. And I always paint with them. The paper I've just used is the Langton Rough, as ever, £140 rough. I never pre-stretch or mess about with it, I get it in big sheets. But that's the paper, Langton Rough. Can't go wrong with this stuff, got a lovely surface to it. Nice rough, perfect for landscapes. But with something like this, all you have to do is do a very simple painting, print it off on your computer, and you've got Christmas cards. Stick them to a piece of card or whatever, or print them onto watercolour paper, which you can do these days as well. Very, very simple effect, and you've got a personalised Christmas card for your loved ones. We've got plenty of books in watercolour. That one is perfect for everyone. People treat that as their watercolour Bible. It's got loads of tips and techniques in there, full of them. Charlie's Top Tips. And the first book I ever did in watercolour, 20 odd years old, that one. And that's a later one. And then this one, the iPad Artist, that Paint Pad Artist, that's even got paper in the back, watercolour paper, with the drawing on, ready for you to paint. That's the same paper that I'm using. So, hopefully you'll enjoy this one and make some personalised Christmas cards. And the next one I do, in probably about a week from now, I'm going to do another snow scene, but this time in acrylic. A different snow scene, obviously. Hope you've enjoyed that one. Log on to charlesevansart.com, have a look at all the stuff on there, on the eShop, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.